Greetings from Northumberland. It's a bright morning and we come to the beginning of a new working week. We've passed Trinity Sunday, so we are truly in ordinary time. And as we move through the story of the Sermon on the Mount, we come to a passage that is quite challenging, especially in a time of war when we're supporting people who are fighting for their own freedoms. It's the bit about, you have heard it said, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you to turn the other cheek. And if someone wants to sue you for your coat, give them your cloak as well. Jesus is calling Christians to a different and dynamic generosity. And I speak to you on a day when the courts in the UK will be listening to an appeal about the deportation of asylum seekers to Rwanda. And it's interesting to set that policy, which has been pretty much condemned by the churches and by the United Nations, against these words of Jesus. And I've hesitated in going down this journey, but I have been increasingly horrified by this policy. You have to remember that I worked for more than 4 years with particularly Iranian asylum seekers, people who'd faced persecution, the threat of death, beatings, and all sorts of things because they'd begun to understand something of the Christian faith and wanted freedom to pursue that. And they were expelled from their country. Well, they weren't expelled, sorry, they were forced to flee their country because of the fear of arrest and persecution. And I met and talked with people, men and women, who had been abused physically by the forces of order in their country. And I met people who had endured much because of their discovery of faith, and who'd come to this country often in an illegal way because there was no other way, in order to find freedom to live and to practice their faith. And the vast majority of these people who I met with were granted asylum. They were granted asylum either on their first case or by appeal in a court of law, because their case was genuine, their fear was real, and there was clear documentary evidence that they would be ill-treated in their own country. But these people had to enter often illegally. And to treat people who are fleeing a terrible situation in this way seems to me to go against the teachings of Jesus. Our country is built upon a proud record of accepting people who are in need. And we've sometimes got that wrong. We've sometimes not been open enough. And here is a case. And so as we think about the words of Jesus, which lead us into compassion, and this will happen again tomorrow as we read the gospel, we must put that compassion to which we are called against the policy that is now being done in our name, and we must be prepared to campaign and to work so that we may be an open country which reflects the Christian values on which we are based. May God bless all those who are persecuted, all those who are refugees. May God bless the people of Iran, and may God bless us all.